Hey, you molten bards and bardettes. Welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery.
A show about possession, blights, and turmoil.
Also a show about geology.
Well, no. At least not today. I'm Matt.
I'm Austin, and we said blights before in the intro. The show has already been about blights. You can't fool me. Is this the same one?
No, it's a different
Are
one.
we back in the same episode again?
No, this is
We're back in the same episode again.
No, only.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
I'm in a new episode, but you went back into the old episode.
Yeah.
So now I have to try to make new content, but using your same reactions and words.
Exactly. It's working. This is working great. If you are not listening or if you're not watching this right now and you don't see all the cuts, man, you probably think that this is a new episode, but it's half of a new episode, really.
Really?
It's all just Matt, and I'm just, I took the day off.
Yeah, so.
Basket had a baby. That's not true. She can't.
She's not.
She probably has. She probably has, but she can't.
Yeah,
anymore.
She's not allowed.
Well, I mean, it's not like a permission thing.
Oh, no?
There are physical constraints.
Oh. TV depression.
TV depression
is the name of the user of which
this
homebrew comes from.
We got a homebrew coming in from TV _ depression.
Nope, TV depression, all one word.
That's good. Okay, I like that.
Possession is the name of this 4th level necromancy spell. Lots of things you need to do. It's only an action to cast. The range is 30 feet, and it requires verbal, somatic, and material components, including a jeweled mirror worth at least 200 gold pieces. Okay.
All right, now with the important stuff.
Yes. It lasts an hour.
Okay, the important stuff now.
Did I say it was 4th level?
All right, now to the important stuff.
Necromancy?
Yeah.
Okay, you target a creature within range. They make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail, they're possessed by you.
Okay.
During the possession, your body becomes unconscious and you have full control of the possessed creature instead.
All right, so it's Ino Yamanaka style, not Shikamaru Nara.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Not shadow possession, but whatever Ino's thing is called.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
I don't know what it's called. Anyway. So you know the mental state of the creature you're... Oh, no. I'm sorry. You keep your mental states, but everything else you gain is that of the creature. So like physical stats, like strength, dexterity, constitution.
So it works like polymorph if you are used to that, I think, right?
No, polymorph.
Oh, that's not the one. Oh, wild shape is the one?
Wild shape.
It
works like wild shape. Yes. Yes. So you take control of the creature. Here's an interesting thing. So it lasts an hour, but if you want to stop it, like if you want to go back, it takes a minute to unpossess them. Interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
So if the creature that you're possessing takes damage, though, or if they fail a saving throw, then you lose possession immediately.
Okay.
And your body suffers all the damage and effects that the creatures would have. And the damage cannot be reduced in any way.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. If the creature is banished or teleported or otherwise sent to another plane of existence...
They just need to make a damage type for that, though. I guess that's the problem with all the damage types is that they are all resistible, right?
I don't think I don't think that force damage is resistible, but it can be completely nullified by shield.
I think it is also like I don't know if a monster or a creature of any sort has a resistance to force damage, but I don't think that there's a reason that it can't mechanically.
Well,
like,
no, I don't think that there's a reason that it can't either, but I don't think any of them do.
right.
I don't think that there are any canon creatures that have resistance to force damage.
Yeah. You know what it would have to be is typeless damage. That's what you'd be looking at.
Yeah, it's just
If the damage is typeless, there's no mechanical way to resist it except for like if you have a thing that cuts all damage in half. But that doesn't. I don't know if that might exist.
it might, yeah.
But at least resistances and immunities can't apply to typeless damage, so that's a start. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so if it is teleported away to another plane of existence, then you are ejected from the creature and your soul is lost. Whoa, what does that mean? On a successful save or once you end the possession, the creature is immune to the spell for 3 days. Okay, so if they save against it,
mm-hmm.
and or after you leave for whatever reason, they're immune for 3 days.
Ah.
But here's something important. The creature does not remember what happened while it was possessed.
Ah, okay, cool.
And doesn't know that it was possessed,
right.
You can assume.
Yeah. So their mind is off. They're unconscious.
Yeah, they're gone. They don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you can increase the duration. This is if you cast it at 5th level or higher, then it's an extra hour for every spell slot above the 5th. So
you're not getting a whole lot of time, but if you need 3 hours and you cast it at a 7th level, that might be worth it. I could see that working out.
Yeah, 3 hours would be 6th level, actually.
Oh, 6th level. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad. Mm-hmm. There's only one class that can do this, though, according to this homebrew.
Wait.
Mm-hmm. He's thinking about it. Which class is it?
Yeah, it's
a class.
Ranger. Nah, cleric?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's warlock.
I knew it. Warlock. That was going to be my first guess.
Anyway, it's
Anywho's it?
Anyway, we've got possession. It's an interesting.
I think it's a misdemeanor.
Possession.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what it is.
Well, a whole person.
Possession.
That's definitely.
That's more than a misdemeanor. Possession of a person is more.
I guess that's a felony, huh?
Yeah, I just did some training for work about human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting. I'm glad that I joined the mafia, and they taught me about how to human traffic better.
Mm-hmm. For work. Right. It was a work-related human trafficking.
Right.
Training
for work.
Yeah. So do they make a training montage afterward and show it to you? That would be so cute, wouldn't it? Just imagine that if you went through work training and then they showed you a montage afterward of hey, this was, by the way, when you were doing your training, remember how you didn't read that whole thing and hit accept at the beginning?
Yeah.
We were getting permission to record you for this training montage. Check it out. And then and they show it to you and you're like, what do you think? All right, I think I'm about to make the coolest place to work ever.
Yeah. It's a clip of you cut together slouching in your chair with your hand lazily draped over the mouse.
It's just made by AI to try to make it exciting. It's the same AI that does video game replays. That they're getting pretty good at that. They do tend to find some pretty cool moments sometimes. in like multiplayer in like MOBA games and stuff. They find the exciting times.
Oh, like the play of the game stuff.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Overwatch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. Just that, but for just
But
somebody
just
in a chair,
for
like
somebody doing work training.
yeah.
Um,
I wonder how often people would get caught without their pants on. You know what I mean?
like literally caught without their pants
Yeah.
on. At work, if you have to physically be there,
Yeah.
probably not very often. No.
I don't know. I've worked at a couple places.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them would have that problem, but some of them might.
I don't think any of the places that I've worked would have that problem.
Well, you haven't worked in that many places. Come on. Only the same number as me.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Wait. Exactly the same number? Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know what? You're probably right. It probably is the same number. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about possession? Because I don't.
No. Don't do it, kids. But that's a cool spell.
Yeah.
I like. What was the spell save DC?
Well, see, whatever your spell.
It's, oh, right. It's your spell save DC.
Whatever's your spell.
Oh, what saving throw? Wisdom?
It was Constitution.
Constitution.
I believe. me
Actually,
look at
I would want it to be charisma.
Charisma makes more sense for something like that. I agree.
Yeah.
And also, man, when do you ever get to do a charisma saving throw? Actually, it's not that uncommon. You know, that one's an interesting one because charisma is the saving throw for things like banishment.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It makes sense, I guess, doesn't it? I guess it does.
But wait, why do you think that makes sense?
Because what else would it be? Like, you know, Constitution. That doesn't really make sense. Wisdom, no. Intelligence.
No, it's not messing with your brain, and it's not something that you can think your way out of. I guess you just have to have a strong character,
yeah,
right?
It's a force of will thing.
Yeah,
yeah. It's literally
which it could be Constitution,
but
that's body.
That
that's
feels
force
physical.
of your body. Yeah,
yeah. That feels too physical. So charisma makes.
I guess
sense.
it's charisma.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Huh. Maybe they just need another stat. Speaking of which, D&D 5.5.
I'm sorry, they came out with a new system.
It's not out.
Oh, okay.
They did announce that they're working on it, I believe.
5.5. I wonder what's going to be different about it.
5.5th edition. Yeah.
It's interesting that they're doing another 0.5 because
5.5th edition.
I
don't know how you say it.
As far as I know, the only other time that they did that was 3.5.
Yeah. Well, yes. So I think this step from 1 to 2 might not have been as much as.
Well, okay, so
3 to 3.5
there,
for instance, but
there was a Dungeons and Dragons, and then there was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And then I think that's when they started with 2nd edition. It was after that.
Yeah.
And then there was 3rd edition, then there was 3.5. And then there's also Pathfinder, but I think Pathfinder is actually a different company.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just they liked the 3rd edition. Now this is great. I love this. They like the 3rd edition rule set, or maybe 3.5. I don't remember which.
Yeah, I think it's
Pathfinders.
3.5. Yeah.
And they just homebrewed an entire game out of it because it was no longer officially supported.
Huh. No longer officially supported, as in you couldn't find it anywhere anymore?
Yeah, just Wizards wasn't. They weren't printing it. They weren't making any additions to it. So I don't know if Pathfinder is actually fully compatible with all D&D, whatever 3.5e source material or 3 or whatever it is. But if it is, then that is great. That's fantastic. That people liked that version and kept playing it. And basically they modded the crap out of it.
Yeah, I think that most people either play 5th edition or Pathfinder at this point.
Right. And I can't wait for it to get all broken up and weird.
Yeah. I wonder what the like. I just can't help but wonder what it is they're gonna do with a 5.5. Like, what would they do?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what kind of changes they can make that are big enough that it requires another half edition, but are small enough that it's not 6th edition.
Right.
Except, okay, if it's all backwards compatible and it's just new rules on top of 5th edition, that it could work. I don't know how well it will. That just sounds like they're just making it more complicated then, right? This is, by the way, baseless speculation. Completely, but we have nothing to go on.
No.
I mean, there might be stuff out, there might be some information out there, and by the time this episode comes out, there might be more information.
Probably will be, actually.
Yeah. But we don't know anything right now.
No, we know nothing.
It's just interesting to think, like, why... Yeah, it is 5th edition. They do need to make a new edition eventually, because otherwise they can't make money, except for by selling supplements that fewer and fewer people buy, which is what happens.
Yeah,
because you don't like, if you're playing a big long game, you don't buy the next supplements after your game starts because you can't add them in afterward. You can, actually. We'll talk about that maybe another time, but it's like hard. So you get all these people who don't have the newest stuff and who aren't planning on getting it, and then you still need to make money by selling them stuff. So you go, all right, that edition's old now, and let's all get a new one. And at least they all get the player handbook for that. Right, and they play in the Adventurers League, which is, that's part of how they make their money there, with the Adventurers League running and everything. Or Adventure League?
It's I thought it was Adventurers Guild is what I thought.
Adventurers Guild. Yeah, okay, that thing, though. Anyway, so the organized play, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they make money off of events for that. I don't think so.
Probably.
But they run it to keep people playing D&D at least.
With the advent of D&D Beyond, I wonder how that will work, because D&D Beyond is completely 5th edition.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll just integrate this new 5.5 into that completely and make it like a seamless transition.
Is it going to get replaced?
Yeah. Do you have to? Is it going to be an add-on thing where now this new supplement
you have to buy 5.5e?
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to do it. None of them are easy.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we can expect that there will be growing pains when it's time for a transition like this. And Wizards of the Coast does not have like a viable, perfect choice here.
No.
There's nothing.
No.
They've tried multiple different things in the past. The fact that they're moving to a 5.5e, as far as we know, indicates that they think that the transition from 3 to 3.5 worked well. And that they think that the transition from 3.5 to 4 did not work so well.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that they know what will be good to add to 5th edition and still kind of call it 5th edition.
I think, again, all speculation. From my perspective, I think that they actually are set up pretty well to do this, because if what they're doing is adding rules to make, which would make the game more complex, more things to think about, more things to track, I think that that's not a bad idea now, because what has happened is 5th edition was their simplest system to understand yet. It had the least things to keep track of. It had the most you know, I guess not seamless, but like the most like like everything was related to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like the numbers all meant something and they all connected to each other in some way. And finding out like what your armor class was a pretty simple calculation.
Right.
You know, all that stuff. And now there are a lot of people out there like me who pretty much get it all now. Like I understand how it works,
Right.
in the broad strokes of it, because it's so simple. It's really simple to understand once you know what it is. And so if they're adding more rules to make it more complicated, it actually won't be that hard if they're building on 5th edition, because I already understand 5th edition. And a lot of people do. But D&D Beyond makes it so that nobody has to understand anything, and you can still just play.
That's true. They could upgrade to
nice.
6th edition tomorrow, and as long as your DM knows what things to call out, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the burden of knowledge on the players is basically zero, but unfortunately the burden of knowledge on the DM has always really been pretty high and never really changed. But well, no, that doesn't even have to be true, because you can play however you want. You can follow whatever rules you want to follow, I guess.
I think rules are for tools. Anyway, what's next?
We've got a Blightwing. It comes to us from aviadtal. AVIADTAL. Yeah, how
Aviadtal.
Aviadtal.
Yeah. I don't know how to say your name, but that's just because I can't tell if it's 2 words or 1 word or 3 words or
yeah,
what.
it's all together. The Blightwing is a dragon-y type creature, I think. Okay, so this is like a big okay, so this thing has layer actions. First of all, the Blightwing can create spirits of despair, which I guess probably has a separate stat block somewhere. I'm not really seeing where that is here, but they can attack. They attack any creature that comes within 120 feet of the Blightwing. There's a DC 15 Charisma saving throw, or they're cursed until initiative count 20 of the next round. While cursed, they have disadvantage on all attack rolls and saving throws. Wow. Creatures that cannot be charmed are immune to this effect. Okay, so they're not creatures. It's like a layer action thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The area within 120 feet of a Blightwing is heavily obscured, and creatures in that area have their movement speed halved until initiative count 20 of the next round. Or a cloud of necrotic energy appears at a point the Blightwing can see within 120 feet of it, within a 20-foot radius, and each creature that starts its turn in the cloud makes a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, or take 5d6 necrotic damage, or half as much on a successful save. Man. 5d6, average 17 points of necrotic damage. All right, so these things, I'm getting it, you know, they're a gargantuan spirit. So these things are humongous. These things are gargantuan. That's the only way to describe them. Okay. They have an 80-foot flying speed. 412 hit points. Challenge rating is 20 for one of these things. Resistant 2. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, necrotic. Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons.
All right, so radiant damage it is. Unless they're immune to that.
Immune to poison. Only immune to poison. But condition immunities are exhaustion, grappled, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained, and charmed. So they're immune to almost any condition, basically. Mm-hmm. They have blind sight to 60 feet and dark vision to 120 feet. Languages. Just Orcish. I'm just kidding. That's a callback to the last one. Do you guys remember that from the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they speak Common and Draconic, and they have 120 feet of telepathy. All right, so you best not be trifling with these things. Got it?
Right.
Okay. What do they do? Great question. Glad you asked. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, what do they do?
Each creature within 20 feet makes saving throws with disadvantage. This is just a feature of them. If you're within 20 feet of this thing, all saving throws are disadvantage. It has 3 legendary resistances. It can see 60 feet into the ethereal plane. And it can use telepathy. It can use its telepathy across planes of existence to creatures that it can see. So if it's in the ethereal plane, it can see the material plane creatures and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And it can use telepathy whether it's on the same plane as you or not, as long as it can see you.
Right.
Already, that's a tough one. Mm-hmm. Your party's going to need something to go in and out of the material plane pretty readily in order to be able to combat that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you won't be able to see
and or find it
or interact with it.
Right.
Yeah,
like you can't. Yeah, you just can't hit it.
It's not like being invisible. Mm-hmm. Like literally, if you cast fireball directly on top of it, but it's in the ethereal plane, it won't take any damage at all.
I guess what you want is somebody in the material plane who can cast banishment and just banish that thing to the ethereal plane over and over while everybody else is already waiting there. It's the exact opposite of how that spell is usually used.
Right. Well, you could also do it the opposite way, but yeah.
Oh, if you're in the ethereal plane, is that how it works?
When you cast banishment, I think you get to choose where they go.
Oh, I thought it was specifically to the ethereal plane.
No, banishment just sends them. I think that what banishment does is it sends them to the original, the plane that they originated from, or a plane that you choose.
Okay, well, yeah, you could do that then.
I believe it does. I that could be wrong, but
if you have 2 people,
mm-hmm.
you just have to have it so that, all right.
Okay.
One person has to be able to get into the ethereal plane as a bonus action consistently. Don't know how you're going to set that up, but listen, here's what you do.
Yeah.
You have one person in the material plane.
Okay.
They banish it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hits. Last person banishes it back. And that person who was in the material plane has to switch planes at the end of their turn. And then during the creature's turn, it's stuck in the material plane. And then when it shows back up, they just repeat it again. This guy leaves. They go all right, we're all going to hit. They hit it all. And then they send it back and he comes back. And you just do that. It wouldn't work though.
Probably.
But
not.
it would at least waste some of its actions and stuff on switchy plane nonsense rather than killing you.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't say. It doesn't say that. Well, let's see what kind of action it takes to actually change over to a different plane, because it doesn't say yet. All it says, it does say that it can move through other creatures as if it were difficult terrain. It has incorporeal movement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so actions.
I think you mean incorporeal. No, I'm just joking though. You said it right.
It has a debilitating presence, and then it can also make 3 attacks. Bite, 1 bite, 2 claw. Bite is 2d10 plus 5 piercing.
That's all fine. Whatever damage it is,
and
you can always
necrotic.
rebalance that by just literally you just change a couple numbers. The point is that are they devastating? Are they meant to be?
No, they're not terribly.
All right, he's not a bitey slashy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Really, his other effects are his or her. Probably it's a girl.
Plus 11
Let's
to
be
hit
honest.
is pretty good though. Plus 11 is pretty intense to hit.
Yeah.
And its reach is pretty far.
Okay, there we go.
So 15-foot reach for its bite and 10 for its claws. Wow. Okay, so it's debilitating presence. This is what it does. Each creature of its choice within 120 feet of it, no limit on how many, just every creature within its choice, DC 20 con save, or they suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
This is like a Magic the Gathering style, like, cheese deck that tries to kill you not by reducing your hit points but by exhausting you to death.
Deck destruction.
Yeah, it's a deck destruction monster. This is interesting. That explains why its attacks don't actually do a whole lot of damage compared to what you would expect a creature
doesn't need to
level.
It just needs you to fail a couple of saving throws.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you hit 6 levels of exhaustion, you die? Is it immediate death, or do you fall unconscious?
No, it's immediate death.
Nice.
When you reach the last level of exhaustion, yeah.
All right.
Here's the
So you pick this thing because it's like Liam's only weakness. Like every other creature in the universe, he's like the best at killing. But this one here,
this would
since
be
he
rough.
often already starts with 1 or 2 levels of exhaustion, he's pretty screwed against this guy.
It also has a breath weapon.
Oh.
That also has a DC 20 Constitution save. And this one's pretty meaty because it's got 15 D8 necrotic damage.
That's a lot of damage.
67 on average.
Mm-hmm.
Their hit point maximum is reduced equal to the damage taken, which is insane. Also, the target dies if this effect reduces it to 0 hit points. So it just immediately dies.
Yeah.
If it, which it will, reduce them to 0 hit points because 67 is crazy amount of damage.
There's a good chance at 20th level that can 3-shot you.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And if you're like not super up on the hit points, I remember Wizard is the lowest, right?
Yeah, I think so.
In campaign 2 of Critical Role, I'll just say they have a Wizard, and I think at level 17 he just reached over 100 hit points, which I think is pretty normal for Wizards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your fighter might be walking around with 300 hit points, but
yeah, your Wizard is just over 100.
Yeah, they are taking maybe 2 hits from this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, it is the breath weapon though. How often does it recharge?
On a 5 or 6.
Okay, normal
So
breath
it's a
weapon
normal
recharge.
breath weapon thing, yeah. It has some legendary actions as well. It can make a perception check. So normally, like rules as written, that takes an action to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're in combat, if you want to make a perception check to see something, you have to use your action to do it.
Right.
So that's not like a terribly underpowered thing, really. But it can emit a shadowy appendage, and one creature within 30 feet makes a DC 20 Dex save or take 46 psychic damage. That's a different type of damage.
Yeah. Actually, it doesn't resist that type either, I think, right?
No. It does not resist psychic damage.
Nice. So you hit it with radiant force and psychic damage. Easy peasy.
Yeah, or a magic weapon.
I definitely have all of those types of damage ready at all times.
Most people do.
Okay, technically I can do radiant at will. At will, if I prepare. With Liam, I'm talking about with Liam.
Yeah,
here.
with Liam.
He can create radiant weapons.
Just magic missile, you know.
I don't think I have magic missile.
No, that's a wizard thing.
No, I can shoot a bunch of fire spells.
Mm-hmm.
I can use the force ballista, but I don't know, man.
So it has a sickening mist.
You
as well. It turns into mist and flies 40 feet in a straight line. This movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity, and each creature that it moves through makes a DC 20 con save, or it takes 3d8 necrotic damage. Again, hit point maximum is reduced by the amount of damage taken.
Does it say what happens if it materializes within a creature?
It specifically says this movement, or 40 feet in a straight line into an unoccupied space it can see.
Okay, gotcha.
So it does have to end in an unoccupied space it can see.
Mm-hmm.
And it can fly up to 40 feet in a straight line. So, yeah. So it doesn't, yeah.
I could see that one being tough for it to pull off depending on the constraints of the layer.
Considering that it's a gargantuan-sized creature, yeah, that would be tough to
find an unoccupied space.
Big enough, yeah, enough to fit, yeah. But it also flies.
Oh, true.
So, I mean, it does say straight line, but
with how the flying rules work,
with how it works, yeah,
that might be permissible.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's non-Euclidean, so I mean, I guess.
Yeah, Euclid doesn't exist in D&D.
It could fly 30 feet forward and then 10 feet up, and then that would count
as a straight line.
Yeah,
weirdly enough.
No, it's not. That's okay. No. That described a turn, 30 feet forward and 10 feet up. That is a turn. That is two vectors. I cannot, in right conscious. No. How does the ruling on this work? Because it can get to that end point. That's not within 40 feet. If you're doing it Euclidean, but it's non-Euclidean, so it is. It can get to that endpoint. But who did it pass through? Did it pass through the person right next to it who's 3 feet tall? Right next to the end? No, I don't think so. They're only 3 feet tall and it's 10 feet up by that square. Unless it went like this, like straight forward, and then at the last square it went, oh, I'm up. But that's not a straight line. So it cut diagonally across everybody, probably missing half of them. So just to keep it simple, I'm going to say it has to be flat. Because otherwise, I don't even know what to do.
Right. And even if it also went up, how high did it get? Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, how could it? It's non-Euclidean, so could it technically have gone 40 feet in a straight line and like 40 feet in a direction and 40 feet in the air at the same time, technically, yes, it could have, because that's still only 40 feet.
Yeah. But then does it just hit the people in the square next to it? Does it even hit them?
Right.
If they're short, like, does it hit? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how you do any of this stuff in D&D. I've never played it. Not even once. I've been lying to everybody. Even you. Even the whole time that we played D&D together, I lied to you.
All the time that we played D&D together, you were actually somebody else?
Yeah, I guess. I don't really know how to explain that either. That's kind of a plot hole in my life.
It's a real life IRL plot hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's weird that they never explain how that happened. Why? If Mr. 3 ate a duffel fruit, how come he was floating in that panel after they got him to let them out of the cage when Crocodile was floating the lair? Oh, it was a really buoyant piece of wood.
Luffy ends up at the bottom of the ocean at one point.
He does. Mm-hmm.
Wait, have you seen this?
Oh, are you talking about separately from when they do it on purpose to go to Fishman Island?
Yes.
Okay.
He's unconscious at the bottom of the ocean.
At the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah. Not a particularly deep part, I think.
Okay. But still, yeah.
Yeah, he sunk down. It's during a fight.
He can't move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's at the bottom of the ocean. He gets rescued.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Is that true?
I think he gets rescued by somebody using their devil fruit to swim down to get him.
That couldn't be possible, though.
I think it's what happened.
Because if you have the devil fruit, you can't swim. They even said there's a fishman who has a devil fruit power, and they say that he can't swim or breathe underwater anymore. Even though that's a thing that fishmen are really good at.
Okay, we can't talk about One Piece anymore. We can't. That's enough of it for today.
I was just going to make the one joke. That's all I was going to do.
Which one?
About how plot holes.
Oh yeah.
Mr. 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I messed that up.
Ended up
it was on me. I shouldn't have done that. I'll never do it again. I'm sorry if I give the impression to everybody in the audience like we had a discussion about this and like one of us is mad at the other one for talking about One Piece too much or anything like that. No, it's just literally like, to me, as the person making the podcast, I am bored out of my mind when I talk to you guys about One Piece excessively like this. This is just, it's just not, it does not feel like I'm making a reasonably good podcast. Like, I just need to turn in my badge and gun.
Badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn in your badge and gun to the podcast chief.
Where'd you even get that?
Who gave you a gun?
You're a podcaster. What?
What do you need a gun for?
It's a dangerous world out there.
You never know. See this microphone? You never know what might happen. What does that mean?
It's too bad. He made the first move.
Yeah. It's a microphone. That was your co-host. How are you going to make the podcast now?
He was my co-host, wasn't he?
It's too bad. You see, he had a gun. Way too dangerous. I had to shoot him with my gun that I have. Before he did something crazy like shoot me with his gun.
Also, who am I even talking to right now? What third character is this that I'm speaking to?
It's the chief.
The chief. Oh,
the podcast
chief.
The podcast chief. that you turned in your gun and badge to.
Why were they? Wait, what? Didn't they give me the gun and badge?
Yeah, exactly.
Why were they surprised that I had it? Oh, were you surprised?
Yes.
You were surprised.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I also have a gun.
Can we
and
try that
badge.
again? Can we play that one more time
from
here?
from the top?
Let's take it from cut.
All right.
We got to get a clip.
Yeah, where a clapper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My phone doesn't do that apparently.
All right. Okay. All right, take 2. All right. You turn in your gun and badge.
Well, I don't have a gun and badge. Sorry, I was trying to go a different direction with that character. I felt like it would be...
Okay, so
what about imagine Get Smart,
okay.
but it's about a podcaster instead of a spy.
Uh-huh.
So like he podcasts but like from a shoe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holds up his shoe.
He holds up his shoe to podcast instead of to spy. Oh, now that's an idea right
Isn't
there.
a phone in his shoe or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
he
been a
doesn't
while.
use it to call people. He uses it to spy. Because he's a spy.
He's a spy, right?
Right. It's like a work phone. It's not like it's not a cell phone. It's a work phone.
Does it ring? It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
Oh my God, it probably does.
It probably rings.
I've never wait, no. I've never seen it.
Oh,
just to be clear.
you've
I've
never
never
seen
seen
Get
the
Smart?
original Get Smart, which was I think a TV series,
I've never seen the original.
or the Rowan Atkinson movie.
Rowan Atkinson.
I believe it's no.
It was Steve Carell.
Steve Carell?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe Rowan Atkinson was the original.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Steve Carell was the movie though, because I've seen that.
I have not.
I mean, I saw it like when it came out, which was, 1992. I mean, 2 years before I was born. I don't know. It was forever ago, man. Like, it could conceivably.
It wasn't even my favorite movie then. Out of all the movies I'd seen.
Yeah. 2 years before I was born. Yeah. But now it is. Now that is my favorite movie, I would say. If you were to ask me, Matt, what's your favorite
That's
movie?
why I can't watch it.
I'd say Get
Because
Smart.
it's my favorite movie too.
Uh-huh.
And if I watched it, like...
It might ruin...
Well, no. Okay, so have you heard of bit rot?
Nope.
Bit rot is basically when memory on like a magnetic drive gets like erased because of various reasons. One of them being like cosmic particle hitting the thing and it changes a bit from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I don't know if that happens on hard drives. I know it happens in RAM. But it's like an actual problem because you can't stop them. They're tiny. It's like little gamma radiation or whatever. Or probably maybe neutrinos. I don't know what does it. I don't know what causes that. But it's something that can basically just go through anything. And so there is a certain amount of stuff in a program that if you take it to space, it just will be the wrong number between the zeros and ones. Like some of the bits just get messed up, and it just happens. It's not an error in the program. It's just literally you can't stop it. Some of them are going to be wrong. So you have to implement error checking, right? Now, here's the issue.
What if the error checking is the thing that gets altered?
Right. My goal is to conserve Get Smart forever.
Okay, gotcha.
Which means if I every time I play it and I access it in any form, whether it's on VHS, if that exists, or DVD or whatever, that is slowly wearing out that physical medium.
It sure is.
Well, I'm sure you can already see the issue. Because I do have currently a collection of every Get Smart VHS and DVD. That's right. Go check your DVD shelf. I have your copy of it. But if I play them, there will be one less play of Get Smart in the world. And it doesn't even matter how I try to back it up because it's going to, like, it can get corrupted and lost anyway. So the only solution is to build the world's largest safe storage facility for Get Smart DVDs and VHSs. VHS tapes, rather. And store them all safely in there for all of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started this GoFundMe.
Interesting. So, knowing this,
Right.
I've already set up a sort of like negative GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe that I set up in order to be able to thwart your plot to preserve every Get Smart media that exists, by paying hitmen to destroy all of them.
There is a stretch goal. There can't even be stretch goals on a GoFundMe, but there's a stretch goal on it to also pay the hitmen more than you're paying
then
them.
I'm paying them, and that's a stretch goal. You have a stretch goal on yours that tries to outpace the entirety of mine.
Yeah.
I have a stretch goal on mine.
Look, this is going to be huge, okay? This is going to be huge.
I have a stretch goal on mine.
We're going to the moon.
Where if I get enough, I will then rescind everything and then myself preserve every copy of Get Smart.
Oh no. How do we win this? It's like the prisoner's dilemma, but for every physical copy of Get Smart in the world.
Yeah. So touche.
So wait, if they're both funded fully,
Yes.
what do we end up with?
We'll end up
The
with
hitmen get paid.
a lot of money because I'll pay them and you'll pay them
Yeah.
more than I did.
And who ends up with Get Smart?
Well, I guess they would all be destroyed, but then my stretch goal is to preserve them fully as well. It's a yin-yang situation because...
Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with this type of situation.
Because the majority of
Right.
your goal is the one thing, but then there's the stretch goal of the other thing, and then that's related to my
Classic yin-yang situation.
goal.
That's what they taught me in business school, yeah.
Yeah,
They were like, always go for the yin-yang situation. That's my late professor, Professor
Smorgleton, yeah.
who taught me everything I know about business.
Mm-hmm.
Those were their final words to me.
Always go for the yin-yang situation. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, after that I got up and went to the bathroom and then I dropped out of business school. So,
because you couldn't handle it.
yeah.
You got up and you saw the yin-yang symbol in the water.
It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Even your sweatshirt?
No,
not quite.
Not really. No. So do you want to watch Get Smart live on the podcast?
We have to stop promising to do these things live on the podcast. But also we have to do at least one of them.
At least one of them.
That one feels doable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, we can't show the screen, just our
Right.
reactions to what's happening.
Right.
Like,
But somebody we could say, all right, ready, play.
yeah.
And somebody could play it
Mm-hmm.
and watch it at the exact same time as us.
And we could watch along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Live? No, it wouldn't be live.
No.
But we could do it live. Maybe.
Some of the streaming services have watch parties.
Yeah, that's what wow, this is the same episode. You were right. We've talked about this before.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I just found out about watch parties today, though. I must not have listened to you.
Well, you're the one who told me about them before.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
No.
Previously.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I am so proud of myself for editing this episode to make it seem like I was actually here.
You're good at
If you guys enjoyed that, then subscribe for some more.
Yeah. Give us a good subscrino. All right.
That's it. I'm out of here,
Yeah,
man.
we have to stop this madness now.
We need to. I don't. Where did we even? No, it's fine. That was actually. All right, that was probably our best episode yet. I'll admit it.
Yeah, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.